Good afternoon. I'm Patrick Simpson. The person I picked for this week's discussion was Tom Vandergriff. Vandergriff was the one time mayor of Arlington, Texas from 1951 to 1977, 26 years. He many times is referred to as the heartbeat of Arlington, which I hope will become fairly apparent as I go through this presentation. I chose Vandergriff because he is a true success story. He was able to take advantage of the economic boom after World War II. When he came to Arlington, he purchased a car dealership, and through that new consumerism, this consumer society, people with disposable income, he was able to take that and build a very successful car dealership, owning many dealerships throughout North Texas. He wanted to give his expertise in business and economics to Arlington, and as mayor, he was so successful that when Arlington went from being a small town into today the seventh largest city within the state. When he became mayor, he was looking at building the economic foundation of Arlington through really sports and entertainment. When he was at USC, he became fairly fascinated with Anaheim. And as mayor, watching the success Anaheim had after World War II, especially through entertainment, he wanted to build that sort of economic foundation into Arlington. Now, of course, first he does need to attract businesses. He understands that, and maybe attract at least one major industry. Well, of course, during the 50s, General Motors was continuing to expand. They wanted to build more plants, and when Vandergrift learns of this, he through his business contacts, through the car industry, he eventually is able to have General Motors move to Arlington and build a plant, thus, of course, creating tens of thousands of new jobs, bringing in families and other businesses will soon follow. But he understood in order to be able to keep all of this, he had to continue to build Arlington. Now, of course, he looks at the industries. He looks at building the infrastructure for medical, for education, and actually even through his efforts, he was able to help create the University of Texas at Arlington. But once he has all that place and all these families moving in, he wants to keep that money within Arlington. And so he's wanting to build that entertainment industry so that disposable income will be spent in Arlington. And of course, that was through sports and entertainment, which he saw successfully done in Anaheim. So he sets on a course to do the same thing, to make Arlington another Anaheim. And when he learns that Bob Short, the owner of the Washington Senators, is wanting to relocate through his efforts and his influence, he's able to convince Short to move the Senators to Arlington, creating the Texas Rangers, thus now having the sports team. Of course, he gets to continue to build with the entertainment, and of course, the next would be a theme park. He again goes to Anaheim. He talks to Walt Disney, to see if he will build, a theme park in Arlington. Unfortunately, Disney was not interested. He even talked to the people at Knott's Berry Farm. Again, not interested, but not to be deterred. Um, Vandergrift was able to put, business leaders, local business leaders together, real estate developers and other business leaders to create literally a consortium to build what eventually became known as Six Flags. Well, this did become the economic foundation for the city of Arlington. And of course, it just Arlington continued to grow. More people, of course, moving in, more businesses moved in, more restaurants moved in, more entertainment moved in, museums from everything from Ripley's Believe It or Not to Madame Tussauds Wax Museum, all started coming part of Arlington. Even after he retired, his influence was still very much felt. And when Jerry Jones bought the Dallas Cowboys and wanted to build a new stadium, even though Vandergriff is no longer mayor, the city leaders went to Vandergriff to, convince Jerry Jones to build the stadium in Arlington to bring the Cowboys there, and Vandergrift was successful. And in the 1990s, when the recession got so severe, and General Motors was wanting to close down the plants, one of the plants they were going to close again was Arlington. But the business leaders again go to Vandegrift, and again through his efforts and influence, he was able to keep General Motors, and the plant still continues there today. And of course, the tagline of General Motors being the heartbeat of America, that eventually was moved kind of over to Vandegrift. But Vandegrift is that success story. He seemed to understand that post World War I economic boom, that idea of that consumer society, and the need of spending disposable income. And through his economic abilities, he was able to create a fairly significant and successful city. Thank you for your time, and everyone have a great day.